So I've been coaching for a very long time, so you would think that I've heard it all. But today I got a question that I never got before. Can psychology be backtested? We're going to talk about that today and dive into some helpful tips on how you can better master the psychological side of your trading. But before we hop into the episode, do me a favor, support the show by leaving me a rating and a review wherever you listen to podcasts at. Thank you. One thing came in, went on a tilt yesterday and lost my challenge. As a result, after months of backtesting, preparation, and consistent trading, it's funny how one event can set someone off. Yeah, that's it's funny you mentioned that because there's an old saying, I remember I learned this when I was in stock trading, where it's bulls take the stairs, bears take the window, right? Typically you look at that in like the stock market, how the stock market moves when it's generally in an uptrend, and it's just a very slow, steady uptrend. And then when you have your quote unquote crashes, boom, the crashes happen really fast. It is the same thing with trading psychology, guys, and it's unfortunate because I've unfortunately seen this. You said it's been for months. I've seen this happen to traders after years, where they go on years of consistent profitability, where they're doing the right thing, slow and steady returns, 3% a month, 5% a month, right? Maybe a big month in there every once in a while. And then it's one thing that sets them off. And it's different for each person. It's one thing that sets them off, and they fall off the wagon. I guess you can say the same thing about like people that have addictions, where you do so well for so long, and then it's one little thing, and then it's like boom, all back to square one. And trading is very similar. So it is never easy dealing with that. I would say this, and this was a question I got the other day. Someone asked me, this was actually a pretty brilliant question. Someone asked me, can you backtest trading psychology? What do you guys think about that real quick? Can you backtest trading psychology? I've been coaching for what? How many years have I been coaching for? 2012 I started? So 10 years? 10 years coaching, and I think that is the first I've gotten that question, which is an interesting one. But can you backtest trading psychology? What do you guys think? Can you backtest trading psychology? Bobby says, I think you can try and train it, but nothing's like the real thing. And I don't think you can backtest it, right? And the reason you can't backtest it is this. There will be emotions during your backtesting, right? We all know that if you backtest it, you get emotional, right? When your system performs bad, you start throwing stuff at the wall. When your system performs well, you start dreaming about, man, how quick can I grow this account to $1 million, right? We have those emotions during backtesting, but they're not the same as real money. And for anyone that has ever just backtested or traded demo, and you wonder why people are demo account kings and they suck with real money, it is because there is a massive difference. There's a massive emotional difference when something is actually on the line, and you can't necessarily replicate that, right? It's no different than like practice versus a game. It's no difference between demo versus live trading. It's no different whether it's like you're trying out for a TV show versus you're actually on the TV show. There's nothing that can replicate it. Because that feeling is going to be different, and that feeling is going to be unique. That feeling, the emotional feelings you feel, are also going to be unique based on your situation, right? Let me ask you guys this, right? Have you ever had like a stretch of bad days? And I used to do this in high school a lot because I'm not good at emotions, which is maybe good at trading, but not in other things in life, where I tend to keep everything inside, right? So I tend to keep everything inside, and it compiles. It reminds you of the movie Me, Myself, and Irene. I think that's the movie with Jim Carrey. I keep everything inside, and then it'll be one little thing that sets me off and I explode. Anyone else like that? Where it's like all the frustrations that you have for the week, and then it's one thing like you stub your toe. Or something stupid, and then you just, boom, that's it. That's the trigger, right? That's the same thing in trading, right? If you're having a bad week and you're just on the edge, you may not even know that you're on the edge, but you may be on the edge, and it's one thing that happens where it's like, I have a frustrating week, I'm arguing with my significant other, my partner, job is talking about firing people, and I don't know if I'm on that list or whatnot. Then all of a sudden you come to a trade, you're in a good trade, and then you get stopped out by 1 pip, and then boom, that's it. That sets you off, and then you go on this emotional tirade, of revenge trading, all this stuff, right? And that could be different. You could have the same exact scenario in trading, but have a great week, and it may not bother you. You may be having a good week, you got some good news, you got a promotion, you get stopped out of a trade by 1 pip, you're like, whatever, it happens, that sucks, right? And then no reaction. But the next week it could be the exact opposite. So there's no way we can replicate those feelings, because it's more than just what's happening on the chart. It's what's happening in our everyday life, right? This is why we're talking about that self-review every morning. Make sure you're in the right trading mindset, right? If you had a bad breakup, a bad fight, lack of sleep, cold, allergy attack, right? We want to identify those things before we ever get in the market, because we're kind of cutting off those issues. But we can't do that in backtesting, because backtesting is so different. That trigger is never going to be the same. But what we can do with our emotions is we can track them in live trading. We can track them in live trading. And we should track them in live trading, because what we want to do is we want to figure out not necessarily what emotions we're feeling, but we want to figure out why we're feeling them. What emotion is causing me to make the most of my mistakes? What situation am I coming into the day, right? So when you're journaling and stuff, if you're having a bad week, you should be writing that down. Hey man, yesterday was a rough day, blah, blah, blah. I'm feeling kind of on the edge already. Because now all of a sudden, if you make a mistake later in that day, now you could connect the dots and you know why. It's not just a random mistake where you fall off the wagon. You know that, hey, I came in having a rough day, and then I made this mistake, and that just set everything off. And that way, in the future, now you're aware. In the future, when you do your pre-market review, your pre-market self-check, I should say, and you write down, hey, guy, Akil, I'm having a bad day today, blah, 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 blah. That allows you to be more aware. You're more alert. You know that, hey, I'm in a situation where there's a much better likelihood of me making a negative emotional decision today. And because you're aware of that situation, you can proceed with caution. And it could be anything from not trading that day. It could be anything to just kind of a simple mindset where you make a mistake and you're like, wait a minute, remember this, don't let this trigger you. Today's one of those days. Today's a red day. Today's a red day. Don't let it trigger you, right? But at least we can start attacking the problem. Because the thing is, we're gonna have rough days in trading all the time, right? And in general, in trading, we know that an equity curve, it ebbs and flows. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up and goes down. It extends and retraces, right? The goal in trading is to not let those bad days destroy us. We need to manage those losing days. That is our only goal in trading. The winning days are always going to come. For most traders, not everyone. We need to manage those losing days so that a losing day is simply a normal losing day, and it's not something that disrupts and makes up, or takes away rather, from all those winning days. And we don't ruin a month's worth of trading over a single day. So yeah, interesting concept, and I'm sorry to hear that, man. I would say, again, try to think back. If it's fresh, it was yesterday, think back about why you were feeling the way you were feeling. Obviously, write down the mistakes that you made in order to kind of blow everything. And then get in that habit of doing that self-checkup and writing down how you feel. And at least, again, it doesn't necessarily mean shutting down your trading for the day. But it just means be alert. Like, hey, this could be a rough day. It's no different than the weatherman saying, hey, it may rain, and you're packing that umbrella. You may not use it, but you got it just in case. You're just prepared, and that does help. Dwayne says real quick. Hey, Dwayne, he said, if you see trading psychology as a paradigm, your mentality, your approach, your beliefs, your personality, then you would have a better understanding of the market in relation to you. Yeah, it's all about knowing yourself. People think trading is just you against the market. It's not you against the market. It's in fact, it's probably, I guess it is you against the market in a case, but it's more of you against yourself. It's two battles that we have to master. We have to master trading against the market. We have to master trading against ourselves. Both which are extremely hard. Extremely hard. And this is why only a small percentage of traders actually make it. And this is why the small percentage of traders that actually make it focus on the same things. It's very interesting, and I'll end this rant here. What's very interesting is this, right? You talk to any successful trader out there, maybe not any, but 90% of successful traders out there. It doesn't matter what market they're trading, doesn't matter what strategy they're trading. If you ask them what the keys to success are, they're going to tell you the same thing. 90%. There's always going to be that 10% out there that are just doing weird stuff and are good doing their weird stuff. And have the wrong idea because they're super cocky and whatnot. But 90% will tell you the same thing. And most of it has nothing to do with their strategy or market. If you ask any real successful trader about their success, most likely their first answer has nothing to do with their strategy. And again, if you guys want to, I would highly recommend, if you haven't done so already, reading all of the Market Wizards books, because you're getting interviews with the best traders of all time. And if you can't learn something from the best traders of all time, then I don't know who can. Hope you guys found the episode helpful. Trading psychology is so important. In fact, it's so important that we have a fully dedicated section to it in one of our training programs. Speaking of which, you can test them out at www.tier1trading.com. Just check out the 14-day trial membership. Get on and start working through some trading content. See you guys next episode.